Have you ever heard other Asian dating coaches empathize that muscles is the most important thing when you just want a day game with social skills, social intelligence instead? Welcome to John Elite News. Now I want to tell you something that might sound crazy, but muscles won't get you laid in day game, despite what other Asian dating coaches say. That's right. No matter how much they say, bulking up and wearing a big black Asian masculinity shirt is the way to go, or that night game is the only option for Asian men, it is simply not true. And what have I told you? It's all part of a broader scheme by platform scammers to make you believe otherwise. Today, I'm going to expose that lie and show you exactly what's going on and how you can break free from the manipulation. My students over here in this picture, you can see that they actually look a lot better than the Asian masculinity movement. For example, my students are on the left over here. They're more aesthetic. They have V-shaped bodies, as you can see. This is only 3 weeks. This is 1 month. This is like a couple months. This is 4 months. You can see how ugly the bodies are for Asian masculinity movement. Look at them. Big, fat, big belly. Looks like Shrek. More compound Ninja Turtles look. Looks like shit. And you can see here with big, bulky looking deltoids and fat arms. This is the Asian masculinity movement. Looks like absolute shit. As I was saying, for those people, for years now, these so-called Asian dating coaches, platform scammers, have been feeding you a lie. They say it's all about muscles, night game, and going to these overpriced world tours, right? That's right. They have these world tours. And how much does it cost for a world tour for a queefing canceled Casanova? Their world tour costs $50,000 for these Latin countries, these scams, these frauds. And they always do night game. They don't do day game for other Asian dating coaches. ABCs of low self-esteem. Their world tour costs $6,000 for Latin countries and $10,000. They're making money hands over fist. And for them, they are just laughing all the way to the bank. That's right. Laughing all the way to the bank. Their message, if you're Asian, you have no chance in day game unless you muscle max. That's their message to Asians everywhere. You have to muscle max and then go to a third world Latin country, the same country that canceled. Queefing cancel Casanova has an indictment from Brazil who are looking for him and trying to put him in jail for his students pulling underage girls. They push night game as the only solution while day game, real sober interactions, gets tossed aside like it doesn't even matter, huh? But here's the reality. These people aren't offering real solutions. They're preying on your insecurities. That's right. They're convincing you that night game and red pill Latin tours and black pilled muscle maxing is the only way to go because those are your only options. If you're Asian, you have to go to these world tours in Latin countries. Otherwise, your SMV is going to be completely worthless. This is not the kind of things that you want to be learning for a day game because my students do not muscle max. They have whitewash fashion. They assimilate it. They're whitewash tonality. And at the same time, my students can get laid for day game, which their students cannot. They only had one student laid after 2 years for ABCs of low self-esteem. 2 years of the inflation in 2023 and 2024. They finally got one Asian student laid. That's it. And they're supposed to tell you that muscle maxing is the way to go. You don't need to be muscle maxing. And night game is not the only solution for Asian men. Why? Because they don't want you to succeed without paying them outrageous sums of money for their outdated methods for these world tours. Remember, it's $50,000 to pay queefing canceled Casanova for a world tour where he got canceled in Brazil and because his students are pulling underage girls and they have an indictment. That's another thing. And ABCs of low self-esteem, they're pushing these Latin tours and they're pushing all these third world country tours, even in Europe. And these things cost $10,000 and they laugh their way to the bank because people fall for these kind of things. They brainwash an entire generation of Asian men because they're platform scammers. They're thinking that Daygame isn't for them. And here's the problem, because now they don't think Daygame is for them. They quit and they keep saying muscle maxing this, muscle maxing. But you see these Asian masculinity movements, these fat looking Ninja Turtles, these Shrek looking Asians everywhere. Because Queefing canceled, Casanova says you need to do compound exercises. That's right. And look at my students. Even though my students are wearing whitewash fashion, you can actually see it. They have a better muscle definition. They have a V-shaped body. It looks way better, more aesthetic than the Asian masculinity movement. This is what I want to say to you guys, is that you don't need to depend on muscle maxing. A lot of my students do not technically have much muscles. You should be skill maxing. You should be social skill maxing, not status maxing in Latin countries. All right. So expose secret number one, the myth of muscles and status maxing in third world countries. So here's the first exposed secret for Asians, particular engineer nerds. That's right, engineer nerds that don't have social skills or social intelligence or social calibrations. Let's talk about them. It's not about the muscles maxing or wearing Black Asian masculinity shirts. That's right. These so-called gurus are pushing this false narrative, telling you that without muscles, you'll never succeed for dating. Maybe that's more suitable for night game, but that doesn't mean you need muscles for day game. You need to have a whitewash fashion. You need to have a whitewash tonality. You need to start not muscle maxing. That's not the only option. The real issue is that many of these Asian dating coaches and their students are older. They're Asperger's. They have high functioning autism. They're engineer types with disposable income. They don't want to stretch themselves beyond what they're comfortable with. They're always seeking shortcuts because they lack emotional intelligence for these older Asian men. These guys that are in their 40s, they're engineers and they have established themselves through their jobs. And now they want to go to these Latin world tours as the only option. And muscle maxing, this is not the only option. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that because they lack the emotional intelligence, that's why they're obsessed over muscle maxing. They think it moves the needle forward for Tinder or night game during Latin country tours. That's right. But here's the truth. Muscles alone won't cut it. They don't teach you that vital social skills and emotional control is necessary for long-term success. That's right. You can bulk up all you want, but you don't have social skills, social intelligence, social calibrations, you're going to be stuck at square one. The Asian masculinity movement, or Asian identity, as they call it, has brainwashed these guys into thinking they need to look like some fat, bulked up Ninja Turtle that's short, bulky, and fat. For example, let's look at these muscles, right? The secret is that they try to stand out at the nightclub at the end of the night because they go after Asian women. They always say the same things. Oh, I love Asian women. They're beautiful. What I mean beautiful? They look like they don't even have a body. They're not even attractive. But these are the bulky guys that tries to wear this Asian masculinity uniform. They try to stand out at the end of the night in the nightclub. They have these fat, ugly looking bodies. Fat, look at the big fat bellies. They all look like Shrek. Look at these big arms because that way they stand out in a nightclub. When they stand out in a nightclub, then maybe at the end of the night they can pull an Asian woman home. This is the Asian masculinity movement. And other Asian dating coaches, they'll prey on you and they'll look for people that has insecurities. That's right. And they'll try to make you go to these Latin countries as the first option. They don't even believe that they can do it there, especially when they told my Asian student that Daygame is impossible in 2024. You're the only one, as they say to my student, why are you doing Daygame? You should be on Tinder and also Instagram at the same time. My student got angry and he got laid by not listening to these platform scammers. That's right. These people, these big always talking about muscles this, muscles that, but they don't have any social intelligence because these coaches are a bunch of engineers. They're a bunch of Asperger syndrome nerds. That's right. They have Asperger syndrome, a high functioning autism. What do they know about social skills and social calibrations? Absolutely nothing. They only know how to not use that in a nightclub. The only thing they understand is to just use like body language and a little bit of game. They don't understand social skills, which you cannot do during a nightclub environment, especially if you have a V-shaped body like my students. Muscles don't matter. So look, for example, even though my students will wear blazers and stuff, here's the fat students. This is my students, okay? Underneath their V-shaped body, they can actually show through the blazer. So therefore, it doesn't matter. They can show through the dress shirt. Look how V-shaped they are. They're perfectly aesthetic. And this only took 1 month. This took 3 weeks. That's right, 3 weeks only. Not the best picture, but not bad from a skinny fat guy to 3 weeks having abs and visible muscles. And the other people, they took about 3 months. This one took about 1 month. If you get this much muscles, then no matter what, when you wear a coat over it, you can actually see the definition without using the Asian masculinity bulk. The bulk is going to make the blazers look really stupid. That's why you should not listen to the Asian masculinity movement. It is a false movement. This is not necessary because they don't have the social intelligence. That's right. They don't have the social intelligence and they have no idea when it comes to these things. That's why they keep talking about these bulky compound Ninja Turtle look. So they don't have a solution. They're pushing this idea, this red pill status maxing in Latin countries, these world tours in these Latin countries. And all it does is make these Asian guys quit Daygame because they think that if they don't have the muscles and they cannot afford to go to Latin countries, they are screwed. In fact, these people like ABCs of low self-esteem and also queefing cancel Casanova, who's been canceled by many Latin countries who are basically indicted to be arrested and to put in jail because they're pulling underage girls in Latin countries in Brazil. So that's the thing. These people, muscle maxing, are not righteous just because they're platformed scammers being given false authority. And I have more lay testimonials than both of them combined. More in Daygame, they only got one for ABCs of low self-esteem. Just one lay testimonial in an easy place like Mexico or Peru. My students, they get 5 lays in a row there. And also one lay right before that, 6 lays in a row, all in 1 to 6 approaches, even one in Toronto with a white girl. They don't need any muscle maxing because of the lockdowns. When it happened before in 2020 or 2021, everyone lost their social skills and 63% of men are single. But for Asians, these engineers, these nerds, these guys who have Asperger's syndrome, for these nerds, they believe that the only thing to move the needle forward because they don't have social skills and social calibrations, as he said over there, because they don't have these things. They need to move the needle forward for these Asian nerdy people that have Asperger's syndrome being 6-figure jobs like engineers or accountants and stuff, the ones who takes these world tours. That's right. They lack the social intelligence. And what happens is they put everyone on the world tour. And now they're pushing muscles nonstop on people. They're trying to use this in their YouTube shorts. This is their narrative. Muscles this, muscles that. That's the only thing for autistic Asperger's engineers to move the points upwards for the 20 out of 35. But let's just be honest here. They don't reach 20 out of 35. They don't even reach it because Nightgame is only 15 out of 35 to get over the line of fuckability. 15 out of 35, not 20 out of 35 like my students. That's the thing. That's what they don't want you to know. And Tinder is only 12 out of 35. And you also, that's for the status, it makes it easier because white people, for example, 12, they already have a 10-point status. They just need 2 points of text game and they get laid just by being white. JBL, just be white. But for the Asians, when they move to a different country like Colombia or they go to a Latin country, that's right, a Latin country with their world tours, and they're spending over $50,000 for queefing, cancel, Casanova, $50,000 for these world tours or $10,000 for ABCs in these Latin countries or Eastern Europe. What they're trying to do is to cash in on their status maxing for their lifestyle, their high status job. the third world money status advantage, the exotic advantage. They're trying to raise the points by going to these places and using Tinder, and you're paying $6,000 on the world tour just to use Tinder when you don't even need them. You could have been in the country and swiping and get exactly the same results because it's totally easy. And that's the thing. And then they try to fool you as night game that you need to move the needle forward in order to start bulking up like these bulky compound ninja turtle looking Asians who looks so bad. These Asian masculinity movements, compound movement because of queefing cancel Casanova. And they're telling you, even ABCs of low self-esteem Asians, because these guys have no social intelligence. They have to bulk up to raise the points. They can just stand in a nightclub at the end of the night and maybe an Asian woman will be there and they can pull her back home for the Asian masculinity movement. They cannot do day game because day game requires more points. That's right, 20 out of 35 for day game. They cannot do it from night game. So that's the thing. The Asians are to blame too. The Asians who are quitting day game and supporting these platform scammers, they're paying all this money because they're engineers. They're the only ones during this inflation who are still making a lot of money. While the rich gets richer, the poor gets poorer. This income inequality. That's right. This income inequality for Asian men and Indian men who are going to UFO or UMP company getting not any lays whatsoever. But however, for the ABCs of low self-esteem students and also queefing cancel, Casanova, $50,000 just for a world tour boot camp. Super expensive. What a scam. And that's the thing. They don't want to do anything hard. These are the enablers. They have all quit day game. These Asians. This should have been my audience, but instead they listen to these platform scammers. They quit day game. They should not be quitting day game. They should double down on day game because that's your best odds of success. Takes 21 days to develop the social skills flow drill. Takes 21 days to develop the social calibrations. You don't need night game as the only solution because Asians are lazy. They're Asperger's, high functioning autism. They always try to go to the lowest common denominator because they need to engineer the situation. Engineers who are dating coaches, they don't understand social skills and social calibration. What I'm trying to say is that they don't want to put in the work. They fall into the trap of these platform scammers because they have less money. They've been listening to these people that are using these microphones over here. And then when they speak with such authority, they have no idea what they're talking about while I'm posting lay testimonials month after month. Also, ABCs of attraction victim, which I'll be posting his testimonial. And that's the thing. He was once listening to one of their coaches, and the coach said to him, listen, you should stop doing day game. You're the only one in America that's still doing day game. You should do Tinder and Instagram game. That's right. One of the ABCs of low self-esteem instructor told my student, which pissed them off. That's right. And let's blame the Asians. The Asians are the ones who listen to those platform scammers. They're extremely lazy. They need something that works right away without a lot of skills. That's why Asians are to blame. They're the ones who quit and they went to night game. That's because they believe they cannot do day game. And they believe without muscles, they have no chance because they have no social skills. Asian men knows that. That's why they go to these world tours. That's why they even know that. They're going to be swiping in easy countries like Colombia or other places like Brazil. And that they believe that's going to be easier with muscles for night game, but simply not true. That just by using social calibrations, this student got laid. Social calibrations. You don't need stupid muscle maxing. This person has no muscles whatsoever. And they told him he was a former ABCs of low self-esteem boot camp student. He got 0 lays. That's right, 0 lays until he learned from me. Then he was able to get some lays from night game, mixing their stuff because my stuff is so powerful. It's not a night game system, but it works really well for it. And then all of a sudden, he starts getting laid from day game. It's like, why even take their boot camp? It's ridiculous. Waste of money.
Asian student got laid with a redhead white woman during day game on August 3rd, 2024. His video testimonial will be posted later on this month. This isn't his first success. He had previously completed Elite 30.
So this is the second testimonial I was posting over there. And here's a second lay with another white girl. See that? 2 of them in a row. Both of them are redheads. Both of them are white girls. And that's the thing. You don't need muscle maxing. He does not have muscles. He still does not have muscles today. This is all a lie. This is what the other Asian dating coaches are pushing as their narrative, that you need big muscles in order to day game. This is a false narrative. Nobody should listen to this garbage and spend $50,000 for these Latin tours, or spend $10,000 for these stupid Latin tours. These people are laughing all the way to the bank, and the Asians are falling for it because they're Asians are getting richer, these crazy rich Asians, and also other people are getting poorer. Level 1 people can barely afford Elite 30 or my $7 booklet. Level 2 people can only afford Elite Bundle 2. Level 3 people can afford boot camps and thousands of dollars to up to $50,000. That's right, level 1, 2, and 3. But the rich gets richer, the poor gets poorer. Level 1 become level 0 now. Level 3 becomes higher. These are the only people in level 3, these engineers, these Asian nerdy engineers are the only ones who can afford boot camps and these world tours. That's right. These are the ones who they're scamming these Asians, and the rest of the other Asians are quitting in droves because they're no longer listening to Johnny Elite, because these other platform scammers being given false authority because they have a platform to speak on, and they actually acts like they're authorities because they have all these press releases on their website. It'll say Fox News, CNN, and all these other things. And Asians automatically looking at that. The very first thing on their website, it says press. That's right, for press releases. This is how they manipulate the Asian people. But what does the press know about Daygame? What does the press know about vetting for what gets you laid and what gets you not laid? How does the news vet it? Oh, sure, the news did vet Queef and cancel Casanova. They vetted him well, and they cancel him twice now on the news. So that's not surprising. But however, how could they vet what's a good company or not when these people lies to you, calling themselves the best Asian dating coach in America, or best Asian dating coach, when I have more Daygame lay testimonials than they have of Nightgame? I have more students married, and they just have nothing but reviews. That's right, on their website they have reviews. Who gives a fuck about reviews? Reviews does not get you laid. Reviews mean they like the boot camp, but they did not get laid unless they specify. Whenever they write they had a romantic encounter, now these people are trying to stuff their testimonial page. What they're trying to trick you with romantic encounters is that they did not get laid. They pulled a woman home and had a romantic encounter. They use very strange and very subtle language to fool the sheeps, the Asian sheeps. And then whenever a student does get laid, they parade it in front of everybody on their YouTube. That's right. They parade it and they make sure every last human being sees it, even though they only got one student laid for Latin countries, just one. That's not a lot for their students. So that means their game does not work. It was just popularity and maybe just a bit of luck in the Latin country. The second secret that's exposing them is for the outdated mystery method system derivatives. What is a derivative, you may ask? Derivative means that this is something that's derived from the mystery method. That's right. Their system, they were actually taught by mystery, the actual mystery. They're actually taught by him. And then this is what screwed Asians up, because mystery is Asperger's. That's right. Asperger's, logical, like these engineers. If a person was an engineer and that was their first occupation before they actually started to teach Daygame, or they started to teach Nightgame as a dating coach, if they were an engineer, it means they have Asperger's syndrome. The odds are very high that they have Asperger's syndrome. They have nothing to teach you for social intelligence. The only thing they know how to do is to cheat the system, perhaps using alcohol maxing and heavy bedroom emasculation. I'm not saying ABCs does that, but I'm saying other dating coaches does that. If the coach was an engineer, that's right. And they tell other people that, oh, they must be autistic. They must be autistic too. They're the ones who are high functioning autism, and they don't even know it yet. There was a chart that I had which showed 2021. It was easier. 2022 was beginning of the inflation. 2023, 2024. Most people realize it's a lot harder. That's why a lot of Asians were the first to quit. And I'm wondering, I'm trying to save the Asian men. I'm trying to help them. But where are they now? They all disappeared because I forgot all about them because I got too many of them laid. I thought they were taken care of. But these platform scammers have been telling people that it's all about muscles. That's right, because they have a platform, they have a microphone to speak on. And these are the enablers, the Asians. They're the enablers. Okay. So the second exposed secret is that the system they're teaching is outdated with the misery method derivatives. They rely on the misery method system, which may have worked a decade ago, but not for Daygame, but mostly for Nightgame. But it is irrelevant today. These tall, self-proclaimed, high leg count, white dating coaches parades around like they got it all figured out. They speak with such authority that they say stuff like, "Oh, you got to sexualize it. You got to DHV. You got to set up dates. Schedule straight to the house." These people, just like ABCs, except that they actually don't have more than one day game late testimonial, exactly tied with ABCs. Mystery method, one day game late testimonial, popular coach, another popular coach, one day game late testimonial, just one for ABCs of low self-esteem. One Asian got laid in a Latin country, and while the other one had the white student laid with a white girl, who gives a shit? My students are getting laid month after month, year after year, even during the inflation. The mystery method, the misery method is completely outdated garbage. They're stuffing their page just like ABCs is stuffing their page with just the word reviews and not getting laid, or they use the word romantic encounter and not getting laid. The only thing that gets laid is when they actually say they got laid. Sure, they may have some students that are married, but I got way more students married. I got way more students laid than they do. They have what? Altogether, all their testimonials may be just like 50 or 60. I have 646 laid and poll testimonials. That's right, 646. And these are mostly day game. That's right. That's harder than night game. And that's the thing. People don't realize, they don't know what they don't know. They think they got it all figured out. But only one day game late testimonial in 2024 after 2 years for ABCs of low self-esteem. That's from a Latin country where the standards are different, especially when you have third world money status advantage, and you also have an exotic advantage and lifestyle advantage. They can't afford anything over there. That's why Asians have more value over there. Here's the reality. They aren't above the score of 20 out of 35. Let me break that down. Day game for 20 out of 35. Night game is 15 out of 35. Tinder is 12 out of 35. Looks is out of 10. That's right. Money is out of 5. And status is out of 10. For Asians, status is only 1 out of 10, the most. But however, in Latin countries, they can add a few extra points, like having a high status job, being an engineer, that they can tell the women. Or as they can say, like, they're benefiting from the third world money status advantage, because that's a third world country. They have more money, therefore they're considered higher status. That's the earned status. They might push them up to a 4 points for Tinder because having exotic advantage and all these things, but still that is not enough for America. That's right. You need social skills is 2.5 points. That's why my students are learning the social skills flow drill. They have the habits for 21 days. That's right, 21 days to develop a habit. But these people don't know what they're talking about. They have these stupid things, they call it verbals. What do you mean by verbals, huh? Doesn't make any sense. Or a free word association from cancel, queefing, Casanova. My students, they get laid without this garbage. And this is how they get laid. Because as I said, social skills is 2.5 points. Social calibration is 2.5 points. And this is something that the misery method cannot understand, because these people are socially impaired. If they were engineers before before they're a dating coach, if they're an engineer for occupation, what that means is that they're socially impaired. This is an area they cannot touch. They always bring their night game shit like 3-second rules, their DHV stories, setting up dates. All this stuff does not work really well. And try date straight to the house. All these other shit, sexualizing it. None of this stuff, seeding the pole. None of this stuff works for Daygame. None of this stuff works anymore for Daygame. Even white people are struggling listening to this garbage right now in Western countries, unless they're in a Latin country. This stuff is not working anymore in 2024. People don't have Daygame lay testimonials anymore, except for me. Month after month, year after year. And other people that brags that they're the king, they only have it from 2021 and before. The next thing is also emotional control, 2.5 points. And game is 2.5 points. That's right. That's 20 out of 35. 20 out of 35 points automatically gets you laid, just like my students do. 20 out of 35. But for night game, you only need 15 out of 35, just 15 points. It is less because you don't need the social skills flow drill. You cannot do social skills because it's a loud nightclub. Everything is super loud. You cannot hear each other. You and a woman, you can't hear each other. So therefore, you have to talk really loud and you cannot socialize. Second of all, you don't have emotional control. You cannot be chilled in a nightclub. It is super loud, it is full of alcohol, and is full of loud music. How is anyone supposed to have the emotional control of Daygame? They don't have the emotional control at all. That's right. And that's why they try to trick you with a misery method that simply cannot access the social intelligence. So they focus on stupid verbal tricks like word associations, or they call it verbals, whatever the fuck that means. But they have no clue about real social skills. They can't navigate loud outside of loud nightclubs or bars. This is why they always fail at Daygame. That's right. Their calibration is just a series of mechanical moves. Like, for example, A stands for attract. That's right. A stands for attract. And what is, I forgot right now. I'm just going off the top of my head. Attract. B stands for be in the moment or some shit. Banter, like teasing or some shit, and cocky funny. C stands for connection. Compliance, whatever the fuck that means. D stands for direct intent. Disqualify. E stands for evaluate. F stands for fun or fuck or something like that. Who gives a fuck? This is a stupid structure which is linear for 15 out of 35 night game. While yes, we have to give them credit where it's due, they do have some students late for night game, but they don't have it for day game except for one of them in the last 2 years. This structure is too rigid. It does not work because they don't have social skills, social calibrations, emotional control, which takes 21 days to develop, especially with my system, 21 days. And that's the thing. They're lazy. These Asian Asperger engineers that listens to this kind of stuff where they think is muscle maxing because they don't have access to the social skills, the social calibrations, the emotional control. Since Asians are super beta and super narcissistic for day game, they really roll their eyes. The Chinese will roll their eyes whenever white women talks. They'll be doing this all the time because they don't care. They don't have empathy. They don't have empathy at all. So they just keep rolling their eyes and laughing at her because they're a bunch of sociopaths. That's right. These Asian masculinity people are the most narcissistic people. That's why they're so nice to you when they speak to you. They're like, hey guys, how's it going? Oh, get this. I don't want to offend you or nothing. But get this. You know what's great? That's why you got to build muscles and stuff like that. ABCs of low self-esteem. That's why, that's the thing. They're treating you like you're a bunch of stupid kids. That's right. They treat you like you're in elementary school. They talk down to you. They're like, okay, I don't want to offend you guys, but what you want to do is to do something like this and work on muscles. And it's all about dominance. And you got to be direct and give her a compliment. They don't know what they're talking about. And even tall self-proclaimed coaches, they speak with such confidence. You got to be congruent. You got to be like with no facial expressions whatsoever. Got to be congruent. And yeah, you got to DHV it and 3-second rule and say, can I meet you real whatever. They have no idea what they're talking about. These people talk a good game. They don't show a good game. And then they'll start to say, oh, yeah, look at my results in Tinder. In reality, what does that matter? Tinder results don't mean shit. Tinder is not pickup. And that person from India can actually swipe for you as an assistant and then send a number to you on WhatsApp for you to get her back out there. Why does that count? Women's body count, does that count as a lay count? No, it's a body count. She's just a woman. They have some value. Why are most of their students white? Why is only 10% of their stuff in their 1,500 testimonials, they actually have 10% of it compared to me that are pickup? I have like 90% more. So they're technically speaking, I'm the best dating coach in the world, but I just don't call myself the best dating coach because I don't teach Tinder and night game. But technically speaking, I'm also the best dating coach. I say mystery method has a lot of people late. Well, that's true way back then with the mystery method, but they cannot do it for day game. That's the problem. Their stuff does not work for day game for anyone. This is just nonsense playing a huge numbers game. Of course, some white guy would say, I used the misery method before and got laid from day game. You ask them, is it during the inflation, 2024, 2023? They're like, no, but before that, you're just playing a numbers game. It doesn't matter what you do. Just be white. But muscles protectors, you have to have the right watches. You need to have the right fashion. You need to have the right stuff, the right pants, everything. You need to have the right hairstyle. You become whitewashed, so you're part of the in tribe. You're going to steal the white man's armor and you're going to use it against the white women. That's right. You're going to be part of the in tribe. But ABCs of low self-esteem will keep telling you this. They'll keep saying, listen, you should succeed because you're Asian, but not in spite of it. You should succeed because you're Asian, not in spite of it. But in reality, they're not succeeding. They only succeeded once in a Latin country, which means you are not enough anymore. You need to have the right fashion. You need to have a V-shaped body. You need to have the same things, the same elevator shoes as my students. You need to use the right calibration. You must steal the white man's armor for the blazer. You must steal his his camel pants. You must steal their army boots, which is my students' shoes for dress shoes. You must steal their hairstyle, which is the helmet, the watch, everything, accessories. You must take that and use it against the white women. And of course, you say, what's wrong with me? I am enough. I am enough. But you're only saying that because you're a narcissistic person, a narcissistic personality disorder. This is why they try not to offend you. They don't want you to learn these things. They don't want you to have a V-shaped body like my students who looks great underneath a blazer. They want you to be a fat compound Ninja Turtle, not aesthetic like my Asian students over here. Look at his definition. Here's the white student over here, high school student too. Look how much muscle. And this is a guy with 10 fuck buddies, whatever. 3 weeks like that. 1 month like this for the other Asian guy. 1 month with my workout plan. They all do exactly the same thing. They all follow the same formula. Instead of having big, bulky Asian Ninja Turtle bodies, you don't want to have a big compound Ninja Turtle body. Because this one over here will still show up underneath the blazer, underneath your whitewashed dress shirt, even if you're not wearing the blazer. Because it's a V shape, small waist, huge V shape in a very short amount of time. You don't want to spend all day just bulking up, because if you're shorter, you're going to look like a Ninja Turtle, like a Michelin star, or those Michelin, the Ghostbuster fat Michelin kind of thing. And that's not what you want. But that's the thing. If you're whitewashed and you assimilate it, you no longer create xenophobia. That's right. This is what they don't tell you. As they're all wearing their black Asian clothing, like a bunch of ninjas, black hair, black everywhere, to Latin countries. That's right. Their students are wearing nothing but black, like an Asian ninja. And that exactly is why you guys are stuck, because you listen to this garbage. You're all wearing this black Asian ninja outfit. You're all stuck. So therefore, they say, oh, be Asian wash. But sometimes that's not enough. That's right. Asians don't understand they're creating fear. I had one Asian student who was Asian masculinity. He was wearing this super Asian outfit. When I made him dress whitewash with the same dress shirt, everything else, and then all of a sudden he starts pulling a Latina in Florida home, a stripper. And then all of a sudden she sees his pictures that are super Asian wash with a stupid dragon jacket. And all these stupid Asian masculinity friends and Asian masculinity women, and she got completely turned off and she completely left. And when he was dressing in the blazer, everything, guess what happened? White people started talking to him like he didn't understand why white people would talk to him. He thought they were racist. But in reality, I say they're trying to make friends with you because you're part of the in tribe. That's right, because you're part of the in tribe. And he said, oh my God, I never experienced this before, John. Yeah, because you're dressed like out tribe. White women are not racist. They're not racist against you. White people are rarely racist. They're only xenophobic. They're extremely xenophobic for white women. This is evolutionary psychology. And just because you're using muscles as a way to compensate, you're missing the big picture. So how is the black belt outfit creating an out tribe image? Because Asians are the only ones that are they're noticed for. Look at this. When you look at the Asian masculinity movement, what is the clothing they all wear? Look at this guy when he took off his shirt. Black pants. What about this guy? Probably the same kind of clothing. Shitty hair. Look at this guy. Black shirt. Always the same black shirts. They always wear black because black is like a ninja. All Asians wear black. All my Asian students, they wear black pants. They wear black shoes. This is the Asian stereotype. It's like Indians wearing flannels, like pink flannels. That's how Indians dress, with the big benchoed beards. So this is the Asian outfit. This is the out tribe outfit. If you reinforce the stereotype, being Mr. Chinaman fresh off the boat, they're going to treat you like Asian Chinaman fresh off the boat. So you don't wear all black. I may wear a black blazer, but this is more of a suit. This is not a blazer. But however, my students, when they wear a black blazer, fine. But they have different colors for different clothing. It works all around the world. Every single country, all around the world. But the Asian outfit, as you can see, with their Asian masculinity, ABCs of low self-esteem, all their testimonials, they're only all wearing black, or at least in most cases, always black this, black that. You're giving it away that you're part of the Chinaman crew because the reason why you dress so bad is because your parents dress so bad. You have a blind spot. Just like Indians have no idea that Indians with their curly hair and their big bencho beards and their flannels and their tapered dark blue pants and they're also sneakers. They're dressing exactly like a poor Gen Z student. That's right. Indians dress like a poor Gen Z. This is why Gen Z and Indians are struggling in dating because that fashion puts them in the out tribe. Gen Z is also part of the out tribe. If you try to dress in the Gen Z hairstyle, I guarantee you it's going to be 10 times harder because 63% of men are single and Gen Z is responsible because of the lockdowns. Because of the lockdowns, now you guys have lost all your social skills and the ability to socialize. That's right. And they'll tell you, these platform scammers, they'll tell you that, oh, I tried to use social skills and I only made friends with white people. But didn't work with women. What social skills do you think Asians have? They have a blind spot. That's right. They have a big blind spot. They have no idea what social skills is. Social skills is not free word association shit. And then compound Ninja Turtle. These people are platform scammers. They have a big platform. And that's the thing. They think it's a bunch of mechanical moves. And they square off and they might point a finger right on her shoulder to open her and turn her. But you can't do that for Daygame. But it's all robotic. And what about emotional control? You can't fake that in a loud nightclub environment. That's 2.5 points that they're missing out on there. And only one person got laid in a Latin country with ABCs of low self-esteem. That's right. Only one person got laid in Latin country, the youngest person in the group with the decent looks. He's the only one who was able to get laid from Daygame in a Latin country. Why can't you do that in the West? And why did it take 2 years to get your first laid testimonial? Remember, if ABC is a low self-esteem student gets laid, they always push in everyone's face the word laid. He got laid, he got laid, he got laid, Tinder got laid, night game got laid, day game got laid. And they'll lie to you. If it's a poll, they'll call it a romantic encounter, whatever that means. And then all of a sudden, they'll be posting their Tinder lays and then stupid reviews. They'll be like, oh, we've got so many student reviews. Reviews does not mean they got laid. This is testimonial stuffing. And here's the funny thing. 20 out of 35 points gets you late. Let's listen to the second student. And all he done was social calibrations. Okay, let's look at the second testimonial over here. And we can see how he done it. He's part of the 3 months to proficiency program. Asian guy who banged a white girl. As you can see over here. Don't worry, the pictures are censored. She's tied up. This guy's a little bit psychopathic. Chinese people, right? Narcissistic, psychopathic. So it's a white girl here. It's censored well enough. And all of a sudden, she becomes his fuck buddy. And this is what happens when he just learns social calibrations without needing game tactics, without needing all this extra bullshit. Let's have a listen.
John will lead, and my experience with this coaching.
I'll go a little bit faster.
So a bit about myself. I'm a 5'7" Chinese Asian from Southeast Asia, immigrated from there to the US. So currently I'm working in the US as a software engineer.
The fucking engineers. That's right. Engineers are the ones who takes ABCs of low self-esteem and also Queefing canceled Casanova's world tours. That's right. Their engineers are the ones who are always taking their stuff right now and quitting Daygame to go to Nightgame. Engineer, the ones who have money.
Typical engineers. I was a very unsociable person, very logical, couldn't do small talk at all, very boring, very monotonous person. So didn't know how to talk to girls at all. But after going through John's program, just 2 weeks of it, not even the full thing yet, I was able to get laid with a white girl just yesterday. And I met her at the mall. Long-term sustainable results while improving your social.
Oops.
Clause. I mean, she was resisting a bit. She was saying like, oh, John. And I just followed all of John's instructions on how to approach a girl, how to open her, how to talk to her and keep a conversation going for 5 to 6 minutes. And finally, I number closed her. And a week later, I invited her on a date, which she said yes to. And John gave me even more instructions on what to do on the date and how to end the date and pull her to my place. So I just followed it, managed to get her to my place, dealt with her objections like the way John teaches it, and managed to get a vote.
No.
She was saying like, oh, I'm not on the pill. I'm not supposed to be in the guy's house tonight. My mom doesn't know about it. I mean, she had a lot of objections basically about being there. But following John's teachings, I was able to deal with them and got her in a mood. It ended that day with a blowjob because her mom called and she needed to go back early. But after that, John just told me to text her and plan another date to hang out. So I did that. And next week, I was able to get her out again. And this time I got laid with her. This girl was like a brunette, born and raised in the US. So pure white girl. So if I can do it with John's system, I think everyone can. Because the course I took from John was Kaizen. That is the first course. I'm part of his 3MP bundle, which is 3 months of proficiency, and I'm only in the first 2 weeks of his program. So currently, after 2 weeks of training, I was able to get laid for a girl on Daygame. I think everyone can do it. And the funny thing is, I didn't even learn anything about game yet. So far, he's only taught me social skills: fashion, how to stand, body posture, and social skills. No game, because I do not know how to flirt yet. I do not know how to tease yet. And everything was done online. So even with those, he was able to guide me through everything. And
what the fuck? He actually got laid without any game tactics, like ABCs of low self-esteem. Oh yeah, you know, step A, that's for attract, approach, whatever, right? B is for be in the moment, banter, and whatever the fuck. C is for compliance, and then whatever. D is for direct intent. Shut the fuck up. We don't need game shit. You need body language like a natural. That's right. You need body language like a natural. You need to be a natural, because naturals are chilled. They have good body language. They have good facial expressions. They have good social skills, flow drill. They start talking with everybody. You don't need as much game when you have the other stuff, when you're emotionally chilled, when you have good social calibrations, when you have good social skills, flow drill. That's right. That's all he did. And he got a white girl fuck buddy. That's right. An engineer.
Essence covers everything. So in terms of fashion, basically,
oh yeah, one time for fashion, he was wearing this red sweater and tried to look like a Chinaman. And I told him, listen, motherfucker. He's like, my infield's longer now. My infield's longer. And I was like, listen, let's listen to infield. I bet you got friend zoned. I bet you've been friend zoned. And then we listened to the infield together. And what do you know? He got friend zoned. I was like, I was right. I'd rather you get rejected because you're wearing the right fashion than to get friend zoned by the wrong one. She has to know you have a dick. Then afterwards, he got laid afterwards when he finally fixed it. Don't you guys get it? It's 20 out of 35. Like I said, it's not 15 out of 35. Because he was working on social skills and the social calibrations, he's raised 5 points, 2.5 points each, right? Looks is out of whatever. Money's out of whatever. He still wears the same shit as me, exactly the same. Status, because he's whitewashed, he's no longer 0 out of 10 like Asian masculinity movement or ABCs of low self-esteem Asian students. He actually was more like 1 out of 10. Having said that, he had good social skills and social calibrations, and he had to take ashwagandha to reduce his fear. Therefore, to be more calm. When he took ashwagandha and stuff like that, then he has less fear. So he has more emotional control. Because of that, he's already got 7.5 points. He doesn't even need game. He did not flirt. He did not do anything like that. His body language flirted for him. That's right. His body language did all the flirting and also build the attraction gradually, because I made him actually do the 45-degree diagonal body language for 3 hours in a row. And you might be thinking that's cruel and unusual punishment, but that doesn't matter, because that's what got him laid. He had to stand 3 hours like those Chinese people doing a horse stance or something in Kung Fu, but he had to do the 45-degree stance, and he had to hold it there for 3 painful hours on each side. But that's what got him laid. If it works, it works. It's not cruel. It's not cruel, because he paid me to get him laid as fast as possible.
I tried a bunch of clothes, send him all the pictures. He looks through them and basically tells you what exactly you need to wear. And he will send you a list of what to buy, what to wear, how to wear it. And for your hairstyle, he'll send you a bunch of pictures and instructions on how exactly to get it cut. And even when you get it cut, he will look to the video of what the barber does and give live feedback on what you need to change and what you need to tell them and what the barber needs to change. So, I mean, he guides you through every step of the process. He holds your hand and goes through everything with you. In terms of his training, he is definitely a tough coach. He will do whatever it takes to get your...
Like I said, if I made him stand like 45 degrees diagonally for 3 hours, it is not my fault, because he was very twitchy. It got him laid. And that might be cruel and unusual to a lot of people. But like I said in my other videos, I am a tough coach. People want results. This is what it takes. This is not just some play a numbers game. He got laid in less than 1 to 6 approaches. All of them did, actually, because they're so calibrated. This is so calibrated. This is exactly what people do not understand. The social calibrations does matter. So basically, 3 hours, that's right, for each side. That's 6 hours. That means he recorded video of him standing there. And you might be thinking that's fucking cruel. Like I said, people want results. Solution number 3 is to focus on social calibrations, not muscles. So here's the solution. Instead of obsessing over muscles, you need to focus on whitewash fashion, on being part of the in tribe, not creating this xenophobia that ABCs of low self esteem pushes, where they tell you to embrace being Asian in a Latin country with your black clothing, and as if that's your only shot at life in dating. You don't need to, if you don't assimilate, they'll make you feel like you're part of the out tribe, which is exactly what happened to one of my students, a former ABCs of attraction victim who wasted time and money on their boot camps only to see no results. But here's the twist. He took my program, worked on his social skills flow drill, whitewashed his tonality, and applied the arrow science. What's the arrow science, you may ask? It's very simple. Fuck number closes, always maneuver, sexualize it to the maximum at some point, not always consistently like UFO, shitty half-ass sexualization. Oh, that's what she says. Ha ha ha. Do you like your hair pulled from a girl? Do you like it from a guy? Oh, shut the fuck up. You have no idea what you're talking about. Your students are banging 3 out of 10s. The Indians are getting no results. The Middle Eastern people with their fake Islam conversion are getting 0 results. They're holding people hostage. That's right. They're holding people hostage, just like the Israeli hostages. Metaphorically speaking, they're holding the Indians hostage and the Middle Eastern people hostage. They're not getting people laid with their bullshit. These people have no idea what they are talking about. ABC's only has 1 Daygame lay testimonials after 2 years. Tall self-proclaimed high lay count guys, they only got 1 student laid for Daygame this entire year. These people no longer has the right to speak because Daygame has been harder, yet I kept posting late testimonials and you guys kept ignoring it. You looked at me like I was crazy, as if this was common, because you guys are getting more distracted by these platform scammers speaking in the microphone, telling you that it's all muscle maxing and that is the solution in Latin countries. This is unacceptable. This is totally unacceptable. So this is the problem with Asian people. Asian people are narcissistic. They think I'm like their tiger parents. But the difference is I'm not like your tiger parents, you are their retirement plan. If you're good at school, as they tell you, and you have a house and you have a car, you have a good job, and the woman will fall in your lap. The secret behind it, tiger parents, is to make sure they can move into your place. Because with the other person over there, that Chinese 5'7" guy, his parents tried to move into his place and he had to take the mental trauma cure program from 3 months to proficiency. He hated his parents a lot. They're a bunch of psychopaths. But that's the thing. I'm not a tiger parent. I'm a drill sergeant and a general, and I get people laid. People like it because they like results. If I'm nice to you guys, like ABCs of low self-esteem, they can only get 1 Daygame lay testimonial from a Latin country. What do they know by being nice to you? It does not work. Tough love works. And you may not like it, but this is what works during the inflation. But no, I haven't changed. Here's what it looks like. It's going to be exactly like this. This is the Asian guy over here. This is unreleased. I have a lot of unreleased stuff. He got 2 lays with 2 white girls in the United States, and you saw his other testimonial, which will be coming up soon. Something their instructor said was impossible. Believe it or not, ABCs of low self-esteem, their instructor scolded him and says, listen, Daygame does not work in 2024 anymore. And then afterwards, they say, stick to Tinder and Instagram. And it made my student very angry. So he started to train with me again. After that, he got laid really quickly. He got laid with another white girl. And this is without Instagram, without Tinder, or any of this bullshit. None of my students use Instagram, or none of my students use like any sort of crutches. We don't use like status maxing, because they can find one picture they don't like on your Instagram and you automatically get rejected. None of my students use Instagram. Like I said, they don't close on Instagram or social media. That's all bullshit. They always just use WhatsApp. That's it. So they're scolded for doing Daygame for my student. Instead of sticking to Tinder and stupid Instagram, he didn't have muscles like the Asian masculinity movement pushes, but he had social calibrations, emotional control, and the right fashion. These things that work in Daygame, things that actually last. The Asian masculinity movement, they've got it all wrong. Wearing black muscle shirts, trying to stand out with bulky Ninja Turtle muscles, that doesn't work. My students have a superior V-shaped body, but more importantly, they're socially calibrated. They install new habits, which Asian masculinity ABCs of low self-esteem, queefing cancel Casanova does not understand, or even other tall self-proclaimed coaches who basically says be more congruent. Be congruent to what? Be congruent to being a zombie? They install new habits for my students, which takes 21 days in a row. So let's listen to the third student of what he had to say. Because for this guy, he was actually part of the Asian masculinity night game. He used to tell me that he is too ugly to do Daygame and that he does not have enough muscles as he's wearing black clothing. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? No, it's John, I get it. The Asians tell me that you need to have muscles and they're pulling Asian women home. That's the first thing I did was change his fucking Asian hairstyle, his Chinaman hairstyle. He's half Vietnamese, half Chinese. And then I changed his fashion. Hear what he has to say. Let's go to this first testimony. Let's go backwards. All right. Let's hear what he has to say. He got 5 lays in Mexico when ABC's a low self-esteem student got 1 lay or a few in Mexico, one person. This person got 5 lays, all in 1 to 6 approaches. I have not posted all his testimonials because you guys would like to ignore it. You guys like to ignore miracles. I can post like 10 video testimonials. You guys don't give a shit because you're poor.
Another update.
This is a 3 months of proficiency student again. Another 3 months of proficiency. Let's hear what he has to say.
So I've just gotten another lay with another Latina. And
Mexico.
this one was within 4 approaches.
4.
The earlier one was within 2 approaches.
Got 2 approaches, 4 approaches. They're all 1 to 6. Every single one of his lays. Even in Toronto, when he banged a white girl, less than 1 to 6 approaches. Every single one.
Within the 1 to 6 approaches,
Yeah,
John Elite has
1 to 6.
I started walking on the streets and I just approached her and opened using the methods that John taught me and his algorithms. And so we talked for a bit and then we started walking together. And eventually we sat down somewhere and we kept talking and I got her to open up using John's methods and set up a date for the next day. And the following day, we met up at a cafe. We talked some, and eventually we left the cafe and I walked her towards my home where we had sex. And again, I just want to reiterate that no alcohol, no Instagram. We only had a glass of water. Stereotypes in our boot camp.
Is that funny? No Instagram, no alcohol. Indians need Instagram and alcohol because they're like.
John has field tested like everything. He knows he has done all size and
Okay, next up. Going forward a little bit.
I don't even enjoy nightclubs. All that I know dating actually works. It's what I want to keep doing moving forward because it's so much more chill and relaxed. Thanks again, and hopefully I'll update you guys again. I'm just here to make an update since.
So this is the second one, Mexican lay. How come I got more Asians laid than other dating coaches? More than Asian dating coaches, more than other dating coaches. They can't even get many Asians laid. They get like a few, and then suddenly they're gods. Seriously? They always have a token Asian. If Asians are the least laid testimonials of all dating coaches, and they're lucky to have one like that, Asians have lower SMV than Indians.
Since my last testimonial, I am the Asian, half Chinese, half Vietnamese 3MP student training under Johnny Elite. And since my last update or testimonial, I was able to pull a white girl and get away with her. And eventually she became mine. But afterwards, I also approached another chick at the supermarket and I was able to pull her back home and I started fingering her. But I could not get the lay. So it still counts as a pull. And we set up plans for the future. I just recently got another lay with a Latina. So what I have to say about John's program is that the 3MP bundle, it really works. And he comes up with solutions to all your problems, things you've never thought about before, like lots of mindsets, lots of different types of drills that really shape the approaches. I only did it with a few approaches for the first lay with the white girl. I only did it in 5 approaches. And for the most recent Latina, I only made 2 approaches that day. I'm also on vacation in Mexico right now. So what's great about this is that you can take John's teachings and the skills you learned and apply it to anywhere you go. The skills are transferable. It's not a numbers game. You don't have their spam approach and run a super hard volume. You just need to do exactly what he says. Because the sooner you do what he says, the sooner you will get away. Because John has field tested like everything. He knows he has done all of this himself. So he will not give you advice that he hasn't tried before. And additionally, I didn't use any crutches. So no Instagram, no like sexual market value. Like I'm just an Asian guy, so I don't have much value in Toronto compared to other races. Also,
yes.
Also, I did not use any alcohol. Right? The girls were not drunk, so it was all from Daygame. And what I have to say is, I definitely recommend John's 3MP bundle. I'm only almost complete the Kaizen program, which is just a lot of drills, and I've just only started the 3MP in-field analysis. So I'm not even halfway through the program yet, and I'm already seeing a lot of results. So for all the Asians out there in Toronto that are struggling to get results, I definitely recommend John Elite as your dating coach. You will definitely improve your dating life. My testimonial for John Elite dating. 3MP.
Okay, here's the very first one, right? This is so the other one's like third lay, second lay, first lay. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. This is the first one.
And some of my background is that I'm an engineer and I'm Asian. So I'm half Chinese, I'm Vietnamese. And being born and raised in Canada, Toronto, and just North America in general, it's very hard to get results in terms of dating as an Asian if you don't have many friends or many social circle.
Not true.
Just try to get results in dating through like online or like nighttime or daytime. So I looked up for John Elite to get coaching, and I'm a 3MP student. So what happened was, after 2 weeks into his Kaizen training, I was able to get laid with a white girl. And on the day that I did the approaches, I did it within five approaches. So it was my fifth approach.
Five.
Yeah, I met this white girl.
5, 2, and 4. All 1 to 6. There is no such thing as a numbers game. And the same thing happened when you saw that Asian person you all dismissed. When he got 15 lays, 5 white girls, 5 models, 2 actresses, every single one of them is 1 to 6 approaches. That means if you can level up your social calibrations, social skills, flow drill, emotional control, you can literally clean up for Daygame, nonstop same day lays. Fuck number closes. Let's continue.
I talked to her in the grocery store, and for 2 minutes, I followed the routines that John Elite gave me. His social skills, having body language. And after talking 5 to 10 minutes, I was able to get her number. And what happened a few days later was that she agreed to came up.
They practice it for 21 days. Even if one guy had to practice it, you know how many times this guy had to practice? All fucking day. He had to do nothing but drills. He also had to stand against the wall and do all the drills and everything. He was actually treated just as tough as the other student, but differently. These people went through hell. They're like an army. They train. They don't give a fuck about running up the hill and using tactics and memorization. They actually train perfect body language, perfect tonality, perfect, all these things that you don't understand. Imagine a guy with 6 lays in a row, all 1 to 6 approaches from Toronto. White girl went to Mexico, fucking 5 extra lays.
She came over and like a few hours before she came over, I asked John for some dating tips, like how to close as fast as possible. And he was able to give me some tips, which really helped me like finish and hold the high girl, basically. So that was really helpful. But what happened was she came over, we just talked, and what I did was I didn't build comfort with her, make her feel really comfortable. And that's really all you had to do. And here and there, I just threw in some flirts and started like escalating sexually. And eventually, that led to blowjob and blowjob up here. So that's the story there. Some more background about myself is that I was following John Elite for a few years, and back then in 2019. But I never really took action because that was around the time I also, like even then afterwards, when I broke up with her, I was still following John Elite for a while, but I never really took any action until I would decide to get into contact. And I wasn't getting any results as well as social skills, just like basic social skills that someone like an Asian person wouldn't have because, for example, Asians, we have Asperger's or like autistic traits.
Yep.
That means like the way we speak, like the way I'm speaking right now is very like monotone, or just even in our face, you don't have any like facial expressions. So John Elite teaches us how to do that. And by watching some people, I can change my voice whenever I want, just like this, because usually I speak like this. But by activating certain muscles in my voice and vocal cords, I can speak to more like a whitewashed person. Yeah. So John himself, he's just a very like strict coach in general.
Strict.
Very tough. But if you're someone who's lacking discipline, he will be the coach, be the person to give you that discipline.
I don't want to scare the shit out of the Asian people because ABCs of low self-esteem. They'll actually be your best friend. They'll pretend to be nice to you just to extract your money so they can get a good review, not getting laid. These are the people that defrauds you, and they have no Daygame solutions except for one student that's being laid in a Latin country.
A slow learner. I made a lot of mistakes. In the end, that's what his discipline. That led to me getting laid. So that was where John is a great coach. You have to, like, he has so many late testimonials, but even then, you still have to be the one who puts in the work. Not just like training with him and expect the results. You have to actually commit yourself to it and decide to stay late. You will win. A bit more about my past with that. I'm also like an engineer, so I'm a very logical left brain person. So it's very hard for me to have be creative, be in the moment, have like social skills, and just be like calm and present. And my past is that I used to go to like clipping every weekend to try to get laid, but the result of that was like very low results basically. And when I started training with John, he changed like everything, like including my fashion, my hairstyle. He made me more whitewashed, which I didn't even realize was a thing. And yeah,
all these things I tell you are from the data. This is not my opinion. But here's the thing. If the students are all they're telling the same things. I have zero opinions. I'm just telling you scientifically what works. They're saying the same fucking things because this works. This is the secret. But it doesn't mean you can do it just because you know it. You understand it, but it doesn't mean you have the habits to raise your value unless you're training with me.
There's a lot of things that John will teach you that you never started on your own. Everything he taught me from the business starter program, these are things that no other dating coach will teach you in their program. It's very hard to find someone who can teach you these things.
Yeah, because I'm teaching what the naturals are doing. The zombies are like, naturals? Social skills? I don't get it, with a thumb up their ass. I don't get it, John. What do you mean by social calibrations? I'm chilled. I got emotion. Zombies.
These things and having this knowledge guide you step through the process. He's a very committed coach. So when you train under him, he'll do everything in his powers to make sure you get laid, not just get numbers or get attraction from girls, whatever that means. He'll make sure get the lay, basically. And, on the date night with this girl specifically, with this white girl, I didn't use any alcohol at all. It was just I just followed Johnny Lee's system and what he said. So that's the thing with night game or any other sort of game. There's always some sort of crunch, right? But with this, it's just purely following John's system, social skills, body language, and some tactics. And whether it's going to instigate or pulling or just escalating in the bedroom, there's a few tricks here and there that he'll teach you. Since I'm an Asian, I'm a Chinese, I have Chinese, have Vietnamese background, so I was a very cheap person. I still am a cheap person, and I didn't invest much on my own personal growth. And this was probably one of the best investments I made on myself.
Yeah, exactly. Don't invest in the ABCs of low self-esteem and queefing canceled Casanova world tours because that's only for night game where they only focus on muscles, and then they're going to make you quit day game because you listen to platform scammers.
Myself in terms of day game, and it's also being seen on the John. You're also part of my inner circle group where you can see other students get laid as well. And John is getting testimonial every multiple times per week. It's nonstop, surprising, and seeing all those other students get laid. They also really boost my own belief system because when you see it, these guys are just a normal, average guy.
You see that? This validates that he sees all the students getting laid from the inner circle and he believes he can do it. This is why you see some of my videos, whenever it shows the other students getting laid, and I phoned them out of nowhere on the YouTube live and they didn't expect it. And all of a sudden, when they start answering the questions, did you see all your classmates get laid and stuff? They're like, yes. Is all of them real? 100% real? Did you actually see the women they fucked? They're like, yes. They all say the same things because it's all fucking real. All fucking real. They're all saying the same things, but you guys don't listen because you're brainwashed.
You're not super jacked. They're not super handsome. They're not very tall. Some of them are actually very short. They're just normal short, 5'7", and they're not white or anything like that. They're just regular, me and you. We're just Asians, and we're very logical. We have trouble with social skills and things like that, but we still get laid near John's training. Yeah, I guess the takeaway message is that if you're someone like me who's Asian, you're an engineer, or you're in a profession that's very logical, and you're struggling with dating and getting results in general, do seek out John Lee for coaching. I know Toronto is definitely harder for game compared to other cities in North America and just the world in general. And there's not many you see online from the coaches. There's not many testimonials or results for day game without the crunch of alcohol or social media. So I'm very grateful and for John's coaching. I hope to keep going. And this is just the first leg, and there's many more to come. Yeah, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a good.
There was many more to come. There was 6 lives, whole day game, 1 to 6 approaches. So that's the thing. So let's talk about this. All right. So I know what you're thinking. Oh, it's the press releases from ABCs of low self-esteem. They're credible because they got press releases and they're popular. Even though I made a video debunking it, what do you think the news knows? They haven't, they even try to show off day game related stuff for ABCs of low self-esteem on ABC News. But they only got 1 late testimonial this year. That's funny for late and poll testimonials. It debunks their worthless press releases because even Matt Artisan was also on he was also on the news on the ABCs or something like that. They looked at 2 boot camps, ABCs of low self-esteem and Matt Artisan. Matt Artisan has 3 late testimonials. ABC's only got 1 of them recently for a day game, 1 student late. That's it. 1 in the last 2 years when the inflation became harder. So that's the thing. It debunks their worthless press releases because they're Asperger engineer Asian dating coaches. Because these things are social proof. When you have CNN, Harvard University you speak at, Yale and all these other places. But that doesn't mean you can get them laid for Daygame. And people cannot judge what is good or not, just what sounds safe on the news. And they did cancel. Queefing cancel Casanova. We made a video on YouTube Live talking about him getting canceled twice, just like Jan Lifestyle got canceled twice for these other Asian dating coaches. This is why you cannot listen to the tall, strong muscles as the halo effect. That's the problem, because their students are pulling underage girls and they're canceled in Brazil and they have an indictment. Here's the biggest problem, because you guys are only listening to the coaches with big muscles and tall height. You assume, oh, because they have height and muscles, they must be good. One Daygame late testimonial debunks the halo effect. Even ABC's is stronger than me. They have more muscles than I do. They have, even for JT, scam. He's not a scam, but maybe for Daygame, not for Nightgame. But he's better looking than I am. What the fuck? I used to think I'm better looking, so therefore I feel good about myself. He's much better looking than I am. I look like shit compared to him. What the fuck? How did this happen? He looks good now. Is working out. Like, congratulations, good transformation. Lots of muscles. He's better looking now. Better looking than me. But one late testimonial charging $10,000 for these fucking Euro tours and these Latin tours for $6,000, and queefing cancel Casanova, they're charging $50,000 for a world tour. $50,000 in Latin countries. That's so much money. That's the thing. This is not authority just because they have muscles and height and they have these press releases. These are nasty people on platform. These are platform scammers that have been given a platform to speak on. And because of that, people listen to them during the inflation when they have less money. They become brainwashed, because I wasn't on YouTube Live after COVID, after I got hit with it and I nearly died. I'm still here today. So the more subscribers they have, the more Machiavellian manipulation they have. That's right, they're manipulative. The more sheeps they have that are brainwashed zombies. The tricky thing is here that press releases does not get you laid for Daygame. That is debunked, because they only have one Daygame late testimonial in a Latin country in 2024. They didn't have anything in 2023 or 2022. And second of all, positive reviews doesn't mean that they got laid for their students. They got plenty of positive reviews for ABCs of low self-esteem. I don't collect positive reviews. I don't give a fuck. It's either laid or pulled. It's results testimonial. That's all I collect. I don't give a fuck how much you feel good. Unless you get your dick into a vagina, I don't give a fuck about how you review it. So why listen to me? I'm proving I'm the best Asian dating coach, not their false claim where they say, oh, they're the best Asian dating coach in the United States. I have 646 laid and pull testimonials for Daygame, more than their fucking Asian dating coaches for their Nightgame shit. And I'm not just talking about Nightgame either. Daygame is harder, and it takes real skills. And that's where I come in. Look at ABC's of low self-esteem. They get one Daygame late testimonial. One. From a Latin country. Really? One. And that's nothing. I got more students married in my program than they do. They keep showing this stupid Asian guy getting married over and over. You look at my Chinese student. What the fuck? Haven't you guys seen the video? The Chinese student on my YouTube. I have not promoted the video yet. Over here, as you guys can see, on the top one, the green one, 15 lays, 5 models, 2 actresses. He also got a foursome in a threesome. And he got 0 results before. He got laid every single time in 1 to 6 approaches for this video. Better ABC. They claim they're the best Asian dating coach. But with what? Press releases? Popularity? More subscribers? None of that fucking matters if they don't have the results to back it up for their students. I've proven my method works with real students, real results every single month. These other coaches are living in like the past with 2021 testimonials. What the fuck? You ever look at other dating coaches? And here's why my offer, this is what I'm offering. I created a 3 months of proficiency bundle to you to give you everything you need to succeed in Daygame. This isn't a quick fix or some overpriced world tour. With my program, you all get my Daygame courses and you can train for an entire year. That's right. And you're not paying $6,000 like a Latin world tour. or $10,000 or fucking $50,000 for some queefing cancel Casanova shit. It's like this from other coaches charge that much, and you're paying far less, and you're getting way more value. The best part is I don't even need to be there in person to train you. I can get you laid without some overhyped boot camp or a cheesy world tour. This isn't about tactics or muscle maxing like the Asian masculinity movement that preaches. This is about building habits that sticks, developing social calibrations and mastering emotional control, skills that actually gets results. My system is perfect for the nerdy Asian engineers, the ones who wants to get laid but are ignoring me because they're listening to these platform scammers. But they don't want to waste time or money on these platform scammers. You should come here if you're affluent. If you're an Asian engineer, I'm speaking to you, who are tired of being brainwashed by ABCs of low self-esteem. You have options, and I'm offering you the 3 months to proficiency bundle proven to work, especially for older Asian gentlemen looking for results with white girls. Don't you want to bang a white girl for Daygame? Don't you want to do that? And not just Latinas in some Latin country in Colombia or Peru or Mexico. Don't you want to get your dick wet if you're Asian? Forget about the Asian masculinity movement. Forget about muscle maxing. Forget about wearing black clothing. Get laid over here. This is better. While other coaches are busy boasting about one testimonials and relying on popularity, mostly one actually for Daygame, that's all they have. I'm delivering consistent, measurable results in Daygame. I have more laid testimonials for pickup and Daygame than all of them combined. And that's why I'm the best Asian dating coach in the world, hands down. And I don't need night game or tricks or fucking Tinder gimmicks. I deliver real Daygame results month after month, year after year. Let me tell you about my 3 months to proficiency program. This isn't some quick fix. This isn't some night game gimmicks or Latin country shortcuts. This is the real deal. A deluxe package designed specifically to help Asian men get laid in Daygame. Even if you struggled for years, you've been burned before and you spent money on boot camps that focus on night game and outdated methods. But this program, it's different. It's proven. It works. It has 646 laid poll testimonials to prove it for Daygame. And here's what's included in the program to guarantee your success. If you do everything I say exactly. Elite Daygame, first steps, $7 value. This guides you through your first steps in approaching women successfully. Elite 30, from hard case to hero, $250 value. A complete transformation program that takes you from struggling with approaching to consistently pulling. Elite access, WhatsApp consulting, $400 for 1 whole year. You have direct access to my mental filter on WhatsApp, where you can ask me questions anytime. The Elite Inner Circle, a yearly membership is a $200 value. Of course, to get into the network with the top guys learning and applying Daygame techniques. Of course, you have to be invited only to join the Inner Circle. You cannot actually join it. People don't leave. Kaizen program, $2,000 value, a deep dive into incremental improvements, helping you master Daygame step by step. Elite 60 emotional mastery method, $2,000 value. Learn how to master your emotions and maintain emotional control during interactions with women. 3 months of infield analysis. This program used to be called 3 months to proficiency. It used to cost $5,000, and yes, people pay me that much for it. And I review your infield recordings and give you personalized feedback to sharpen your Daygame. I go through this every few days. Mental trauma cure, $1,000 value. Will resolve any emotional blocks and trauma that's holding you back. Tax scheme for minorities, $900 value. Tailored specifically for those facing unique challenges in texting and closing. Now it's included with 20 Skype sessions. Total value over $17,757 worth of coaching and courses. But I'm here to tell you, it is not $17,757. I'm not going to talk about the pricing right now. If you want to know how much it costs, I can assure you it costs less than the ABCs of low self-esteem Euro tour. It'll cost less than their Latin tour. It'll cost less than their boot camps. I want to make sure that you're a good fit for the program. Talk to me, call me, and we'll see if you're qualified for this program. And I don't just take anybody. I only work with people who are serious about getting results in Daygame. So if you're ready to finally stop wasting time and money on these press release frauds and start seeing results in success in real life, reach out to me. Let's lock in your spot, start your infield reviews this week, and get you on fucking track to finally get your dick wet to get laid. I'm here to help. Let's do this. A Vietnamese guy, 5'8", gets laid. Here's a 5'5" short Vietnamese guy. 3 fuck by these 2 models. Let's see what he has to say. 5'5".
Find online teachers. Something about me. I'm a Vietnamese guy. I'm 5'5", study in university in London. And I decided to buy this program because before I was just going out all the time, being really direct with girls and never worked now. They would just flake or spark me off. But with John's program, I was able to open transition and show myself, express myself to get the girl attracted to me. And he taught me everything from approaching to what to do with a number, what to do on a date, how to pull the girl back to my place, and escalate from there. An Asian guy living in Europe, in a country that the first language of everyone is English. First, I found it really difficult to get attraction from women, but after taking this program, I feel like anything's possible, and I just feel unstoppable at the moment. I'm dating 2 models, one Asian, one white girl, and just dating any races I want without any barrier. I'm just really happy. On top of that, I want to clarify that by following John's teaching, in the span of 1 week, I have been able to pull 2 girls home and slept with them. One is an Asian model, and the other one is a really hot white girl.
Yeah, so he actually banged 3 women, 3 fuck buddies, but one of them left. But that's after this testimonial. So he kept the Asian model, and the other one's the other one's a white girl who's a model too. Both of them are models. The blonde chick. So that's possible. Let's see here. I have other short people. With this guy has 7 lays in Europe. He's 5'7". There's another short Asian. There's those short little Asian guys.